Hey, what's going on, everybody? So this video is going to cover a couple different topics. The actual workout footage is going to go through one of my chest, shoulder, and triceps days. But before I get into that, I wanted to do a little bit of a video log, give you some background about my personal stats. I'm going to talk about my current training regimen, supplements I take, and as well as my nutrition. So we'll start off with my stats. I am 5'10" and 183 pounds right now. I'm about 4 months into my bulk. I started my bulking process back in May. I started off around 165 pounds, so since then I've been able to average about a pound, a little bit more than a pound a week. So it's been a good pace. It's allowed me to keep my fat gains to a minimum and my muscle gains to a maximum. So that's what I'm trying to do right now, is just continue to maximize my muscle gains. I'm going to be bulking all the way through spring of next year and then go through a cutting cycle for the summer. Got to get shredded. Okay, I'm going to get into the specifics of my training program. I like to train high volume training, so high volume for me. I started off with a push-pull workout split, and that has since evolved into this. So I train on day 1 would be chest, shoulders, and triceps. Day 2 is back and biceps. Day 3 is legs, so on that day I'll do squats and leg press and focus more on the quads, the front part of my legs. Day 4 is arms. Day 5 is calves and abs. Day 6 is legs again, but this is the back part of my legs, so I focus on the hamstrings, and this is when I do my deadlifts. And then day 7 will either be a rest day, or I'll start it back over on day 1 with another chest, shoulders, and triceps. The goal with starting it back over again is I'm trying to increase the frequency of my workouts so I can hit my muscle groups. Try to hit them around twice a week. Sometimes I don't hit every muscle twice a week, but just to try to keep the frequency and the volume up. So it started off with, like I said, push-pull legs. So there's your push. So push day, for anyone not familiar with the push-pull legs routine, that's chest, shoulders, and triceps, all the pushing motions for upper body, and then back and biceps, so that's pulling motions, and then legs. And that's a pretty typical split, just those 3 by themselves, and then you can rotate those around. So if you're a beginner, that's a great routine. I definitely would recommend that. But the reasoning behind why I kind of extended this out and made it more of a typical type bodybuilding type split is I really wanted to add some emphasis on my arms this bulk. So I wanted to increase the frequency and the volume I was getting on my arms, as well as I wanted to split up my legs between hamstrings and quads, because I felt like when I was doing leg day I was getting a lot more emphasis on my quads, so I wanted to hit legs twice a week so I have a chance to really focus in and bring up my hamstrings. And then again, like I said, with the rest day, that's just depending on how my body feels. If I need to take the day off, I will. If not, it's not unusual for me to go 7 or 8 days in a row at the gym. But usually after that, I get pretty burnt out and I have to take a rest day. So that's how I structure my current training routine. As far as cardio goes, I have a hard time gaining weight, generally speaking, so I try to keep the cardio to a minimum as much as possible. The problem with that is, especially when I'm doing deadlifts or squats, my cardiovascular endurance can really limit me in terms of how many reps and things like that I'm able to do on squats. So I've been trying to add some more cardio into my my training routine. It's just so hard because I like to train with high volume, and it's hard to get enough time in the day and enough energy at the end of my workout to do cardio. But I will do at least 5 or 10 minutes of walking, and I like to mix it in with some interval training so I can get my heart rate up. So I like low intensity stuff, so that's why I do walking, or interval training where you're walking for a minute and then you're running or jogging for a minute and you cycle it back and forth. So like I said, that gets my heart rate up and helps me get used to a little bit faster training pace. So I think that's everything I wanted to cover in regards to my specific training routine. Next, I'm going to talk about supplementation. So I'm not a huge big proponent on taking all different kinds of supplements. I just stick to the basics. I've been taking whey protein ever since I started working out, so that's been the core and main staple supplement that I've been using my whole lifting career. So I definitely recommend that to help you get your protein goal in for the day. I also take creatine. I started taking that maybe 3 years or so now, and I've seen some good results with that. So I just mix that in with my protein shake post-workout, do that once a day. So those are the only 2 supplements I take currently. I have tried some pre-workouts and things like that, and those are pretty good. I'm just not a huge fan of taking those on a consistent basis, and I definitely don't like to take them since I work out in the evening, so that can get my heart rate up and give me trouble sleeping at night because I'm just pumped up after I take those. So that's how I feel about post or pre-workout shakes and pre-workout supplements. So yeah, there's not too much to say about that. I like I said, I like to keep it pretty simple, keep it pretty basic. I really find the most benefit comes from hitting your protein goals, hitting your calorie goals for the day in terms of how much muscle mass you can put on and making strength gains. The supplements are nice, but the supplements at the end of the day are just that. They're supplements. They're not there to become a main staple in any kind of exercise or nutrition routine. But they do help you. So there are some people that like the BCAAs, the glutamine. So I'm not saying that any of that stuff doesn't work or whatever. You know, everyone's got different opinions about those things, but just this is the routine that's been working for me, and that's why I like to keep it nice and simple and stick to the basics, because at the end of the day, that works for me, and I like it. So, okay, next I'm going to talk about my nutrition briefly. So on a high day, a day where I'm burning a lot of calories, and a day where maybe like I would train legs or something like that, I would take about 3,500 calories in for the day. And that breaks down into about 235 grams of protein, approximately 95 grams of fat, and 420 grams of carbs. So the protein, as I've mentioned in a few different videos previously, you take your body weight times 1 to 1.5, somewhere in that range, and that's how you can get your protein figured out. So I don't go all the way on the 1.5 end of the spectrum, although the more protein, or the closer that I get to that goal, the better. But I just shoot for around 235 grams of protein, so a little bit over 1.25 times my body weight. And fat, I do about 25% of my daily calories from fat. And then carbs are just a filler, so anything I have left over goes to carbs, and I enjoy eating carbs right now, especially during my bulking phase. I know it's difficult when you're going through a cutting phase and your calories are super low, because your protein and your fats stay pretty consistent overall, but then your carbohydrates tend to come down. So I'm enjoying the higher carbohydrates right now, because when you're cutting and you have the poverty calories, you don't have a lot of carbs to enjoy. So enjoy whatever phase you're in while it lasts, because I'm thinking ahead to next spring and when my calories start to come down again. So it's not fun, but it's worth it. So that's really all I wanted to say about my nutrition. I can't really think of anything else to add right now. Like I said, the next part of this video is going to show you some of my chest, shoulders, and triceps workouts, like a typical routine that I would do. I'll go ahead and talk about some of the exercises that you're going to be seeing. So I always start my workout for chest, shoulders, and triceps with the compound movement of bench press. It's one of my all-time favorite lifts. Really, any kind of exercise routine that I like to do during the week, I start off with the compound movement if there is one, whether that's bench press, squat, deadlift, or overhead press. Those are the 4 main compound movements that I consider that I like to do towards the beginning of my workout when I'm nice and fresh, because those exercises allow you to really hit a bunch of different muscle groups, to progressively overload on them, whether it's increasing the volume or gradually increasing your strength. And all of those things will help you to build more muscle mass or maintain muscle mass if you're going through a cutting phase. So that's why I like to stick to the compound movements. So you'll see bench press first, then you'll see I go to an incline press. Then the next exercise I do is a cable fly. I don't think that's featured in the video, but that is the third exercise that I do. And that's really it for chest. Then I'll jump over and do some shoulders. I like to do, again, compound movement. I do the overhead press, and I prefer to do that standing. By that point, my shoulders are already pretty blasted, because I've done bench press, I've done incline, and now I'm doing the overhead press. So I'll get the overhead press done, and then I'll do some laterals. I like to do the lateral raises on a machine, because I can keep constant tension on my shoulders. That's the next exercise I do for shoulders. And then from there, I jump over and I do some triceps to finish it off. I like to do a close grip bench press. Number one, that really develops the thicker part of your triceps when you do that. And it also has a lot of carryover for your regular bench press. So if you're not doing any kind of close grip bench press and your triceps are lagging, or you want to build bigger arms, I would definitely recommend that. And that's also, like I said, going to help you increase your bench press as well. So those are some of the things I like to think about when I'm structuring my routine, and some of the exercises I pick. I pick things that'll help other exercises and things that are going to be easy to overload and to progress on. I do love the machines, so after I finish my close grip bench press, I go into some cable overhead tricep extensions, and then some cable pushdowns for triceps. So I do like the machines. I like to get some accessory work in. Like I said, I do the laterals. But those are just what I said they are. They're accessory work. That's not the primary factor for me to build my muscle mass or to increase my strength. But I do like to increase my volume and throw those in there as well for some just a little bit of pump up work and to really stimulate the muscles some more. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions about anything I've said in this video or any of the lifts you see me doing in the future, please leave a comment down below. Appreciate it.